Now, with the Dakota Access Pipeline apparently stopped for now, we seem to have had a pretty good victory. By we, I mean not me, but Native Americans, because those were the people that actually fought for this, and they won. With the help of course, environmental activists, people like Shailene Woodley, Josh Fox, Mark Ruffalo, they were out there, and of course the veterans that went all the way out to Standing Rock. But of course, most of the victory, most of the credit, 99% of it, goes to the Native Americans who've been fighting it for a very long time. Now, with that victory, right now, seemingly assured, you have to remember that even though we've won that, there are other pipelines in the works across the country. Now, one of them that I want to talk to you about today is located in Louisiana. Now, it is called the Bayou Bridge Pipeline. And that project has been spearheaded by the same company, Energy Transfer Partners, that tried to build the Dakota Access Pipeline. Now, it and its partners, Sunoco Logistics Partners and Phillips 66, want to build this new pipeline on the Mississippi River in order to connect refineries to the Dakota Access Pipeline. Because, look, that small section of pipeline, it's likely going to be rerouted. But the Dakota Access Pipeline is still going to exist. In fact, most of it is built already. So you're going to have that pipeline, and now they want to build more pipelines in Louisiana to connect to that, which will ultimately carry crude oil from the Bakken fields through Louisiana into Texas, where it can be refined and then sent overseas. Now, here's the problem with this pipeline. Among, of course, the usual problems that come with pipelines, like spills. You have the Lake Charles to St. James segment is proposed to destroy 600 acres of wetlands and cross more than 700 water bodies, including the crawfish producing Atchafalaya Basin and Bayou Lafourche. I'm sorry, any Louisiana natives, I butchered that. I am not, obviously, I'm like the most Yankee person here, so I apologize. Now, it would end up destroying drinking water for over 300,000 residents of coastal Louisiana. Now, look, Louisiana, they're in the oil business. They don't have a lot of oil, but they get a lot of oil coming through it. Okay, right now it's shipped by truck, oil car. But of course, as I said, it makes sense for them to want to build a pipeline to ship that oil through it faster. Now, the thing is that there are property owners out there where the pipeline would run through that are not exactly happy with this whole thing. They don't want to give up control of their property, and of course, to these fossil fuel companies. So now the company has actually threatened to use eminent domain, which of course could be trouble for some of the local politicians. Now, I'm going to reference Mike Stagg here, who's been talking about this, who's a local freelance journalist in Louisiana, and he's been writing about the relationship between fossil fuel industry and the Louisiana government. Now, he actually talks about somebody named Scott Engel. Now, Scott Engel is a local Louisiana Republican in that area, in the, 3rd Congressional District, that also sits on the board of Energy Transfer Partners. Now, that happens to be his district. He happens to want to get that pipeline through, but there is a bit of a problem here because he is in a district runoff against Captain Clay Higgins, who is also a fellow Republican. So, look, if he comes out in support of eminent domain, well, he's going to lose. But, of course, if he doesn't come out for eminent domain, he might lose a lot of his money from Energy Transfer Partners. That's a little bit of an interesting thing. Now, aside from this, the local politics of the issue, which is being thrown into disarray, you also have residents that are opposing this land grab, including a property owner that talked to Mr. Stagg, who said a landman representing the pipeline group had threatened her with legal action if she did not sign the right-of-way agreement. Now, I ask you, people familiar with DAPL, does that sound familiar? Using threats, intimidation, and eminent domain to try to seize land for a pipeline that people in the area don't really want. Now, look, this, I think, could be the next Apple fight. Now, some of the residents obviously don't really want this pipeline in their backyard. And they especially don't want the big government to come in and seize their land on behalf of a private corporation. Now, as far as I know, there's a lot of people that have not picked this up nationally. This is not a story that has gained national renown. It has not gained national news. So that's why I think it's really important to talk about this and some of the other pipeline fights that could be coming up. This needs to gain national attention. We need to continue to fight these pipelines and protect the drinking water, not just in Standing Rock, but for other people, for people in Louisiana, for people in Ohio, for people in Florida. There are significant pipeline projects that are attempting to go up that are using these same kind of tactics that they tried to use in Standing Rock. Now, obviously, it's not quite to the level of police brutality and presence here as what happened in Standing Rock, but it could get to that point. We want to prevent it and prevent these pipelines from going in before it gets to this point. And that's why it's important, I think, to spread this story, to talk about this story, to make sure that it gets out to the press, to make sure that it gets out to the public so we can organize a resistance. Now, as I said, I am hoping that just like the people of New Orleans that were opposing this local pipeline helped Standing Rock. They stood with Standing Rock. I'm hoping now that the people of Standing Rock can help support these water protectors. I want to see everybody work together to fight the Bayou Bridge pipeline. Let's get it done. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent, non-corporate media, go to our Patreon page and become a patron. Patreon.com/TYTNation.